Hey everybody, Ben Frederickson here alongside Stu Durando for another episode of Billikens Beat. Stu is still covering an undefeated Billikens basketball team, one that is actually, Stu, on an 11-game winning streak. I'm not sure how that holds up in the official records going back to last season when college basketball was shelved due to the pandemic, but certainly the Billikens have hit the ground running. A big win against NC State on Thursday night at Chaffetz. You had a great description in the paper. It was kind of like a story of two halves in which the first half was a throwback to the Billikens' previous offense, and the second half was a reminder of how well this team can play when it fires on all cylinders.
Yeah, I really did feel like I was watching a team from, 2014, 15 or something when Travis was just building the program and didn't have the offensive pieces to really get things going. And it was pretty much a mess in the first half. That was amazing that they came out trailing by only 6 points with the 13 turnovers. And I think they shot 31% in the first 20 minutes, and just about everything that could go wrong did go wrong. But the second half was what we've come to expect this season. They were clicking. A lot of guys were contributing, and they were shooting well, executing, and they just ended up wearing down North Carolina State.
This was a game that, it involved some of the main characters. I mean, Gibson Jimerson hits a couple big threes that kind of keep the Billikens in it. But the new story of the game was Yuri Collins and what he did offensively, a career high in points, and kind of at times seemed to grab the game by its shirt collar and say, okay, we're gonna stay in this thing. I don't know that Yuri will score like that all the time, but that's a new element to his game that we're seeing a little bit more of this season.
Yeah, he kind of took it upon himself, it sounded like, to just start attacking relentlessly the basket when nothing was falling for anyone else. I think SLU started like 2 for 14 or something along those lines, shooting wise. He said Jordan Goodwin said that Yuri told him at one point, "I'm just going to start going, run with me." And he just, it was hit and miss because he had a lot of turnovers, but he was also scoring more often than turning it over. And he was really the main reason why it was so close at halftime.
That run that the Billikens went on in the second half, you have the numbers, but it really, I think, kind of shows how high their offensive ceiling is this year. If they are firing on all their cylinders, they can play with anybody in the country, it seems. At NC State, they didn't have a full health team. They were missing some guys. They hadn't played in a while. That's part of the reason this game kind of got scheduled. But it was clear that the Wolfpack was not ready to run with the Billikens when they were able to kind of find their rhythm in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they got tired. They played 8 guys, I think, mainly, and SLU played its starters, I think 38, 36, 34 minutes. So they also logged some big minutes. But yeah, that was what we've seen when everyone's contributing. That's a good defensive team they were playing, a team that pressures and presses, and to score 51 points and shoot that well against that kind of a defensive team from the ACC is pretty impressive.
51 points in the second half. That's something. Jordan Goodwin gets the bragging rights over Jericho Helms, and SLU moves on to another big game, to no rest for the Wicked. The Billikens hit the road Sunday, a game at Minnesota. Minnesota got really blown out against Illinois in the Gophers' first road game, but that was their only loss. And I think a chance for SLU to say, look, when that poll comes out on Monday, they need to be ranked for the first time since, the 2013-14 season. The win against NC State will help. Certainly beating Minnesota would. These guys are 6-0. They're picked, to finish top in the A10 or second. It looks like a multiple bid conference this year. These guys should be ranked if they can take care of the Gophers, shouldn't they, Stu?
I would think that beating North Carolina State, ACC, and then if they can get a win over Minnesota in the Big Ten, would finally maybe put them over the top, depending on what those other teams in that 20 to 25 range did this week. But that would certainly open some eyes. It's going to be a real test because, SLU's been comfortable at home at Chaffetz in their little self-created bubble so far this season. Now they're going on the road to try things out for the first time. And we saw what happened to Minnesota, which had been at home, and they went on the road, albeit against Illinois, and got blown out. So I don't think SLU, certainly won't be intimidated by the atmosphere because there won't be anyone there. But it's just a whole different routine when you go on the road, and they're going to have to adjust and see if they can take care of business.
And you're going on the road. You will have coverage of the game on Sunday in the paper, also online at stltoday.com. And I know folks are fired up about this basketball team, so it's great that you're going to be there chronicling this even during pandemic time. Stay safe out there and get home safe. And I'll remind folks too that, hey, we got some good college basketball here. If SLU does crack the rankings, it'll be the first time that Missouri, SLU, and also Illinois have been ranked in the same AP poll. It hasn't happened since 1994. So credit to the teams in the area, and the Billikens need to be in that group, and they should be. So we'll see what happens in Minnesota. Stu will have it covered. And we'll talk to you next time here on Billikens Beat at the Post-Dispatch and stltoday.com.